Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in this video we're going to cover the amazing differences in charts that you find from broker to broker. And this is a big danger element because if you are a Forex robot trader, it means that you cannot rely on the default settings or the settings supplied by another trader or even the settings supplied by our EA factory facility. It means that you have to calibrate those settings to match your particular broker. Now, many traders come to us and say, why does that matter? If I'm using one broker, how am I impacted? Now, as I've mentioned earlier, you're not impacted at all if you're trading your own system on that particular broker. But the minute you start sharing trading ideas with other traders, you are in trouble because things like set files will not work from broker to broker. Things like default settings will not work. So be very careful. I'm going to explain this to you very carefully because we found this where our clients are reporting different results than what we are experiencing, and we couldn't work out why, and we went into this in a lot of detail. So let's go through this list. It's not a comprehensive list, it's just the main points that I've extracted, but further in the video we're going to show you practical examples of the big differences between major brokers. And you think all brokers have the same price. Yes, they have the same price, but there are still major differences. Firstly, the candle settings could be different and are different in most cases, where the cutoff, for instance, on a 4-hour candle can be a totally different time depending on which broker you're using. And you'll see charts that don't even remotely look like the same charts, but they are tracking the same time frame in each broker's case. And that is because of candle cutoffs. And that applies mainly to the daily candles and the 4-hour candles. Some brokers even have 6 daily candles and others have 5 daily candles every week. So that's an example of candle settings, but you'll see some really good ones that will really make your toes curl when you actually see them. Then the other reason is because brokers cut off at different times on a weekend. Some cut off early, some cut off late, some cut off even later, which means that if they are trading the hour chart, the hour charts will have 3 extra candles or even 4 extra candles in their charts. And on the Monday, they will have 4 fewer candles on their charts. Now, what that does, it messes with indicators tremendously. No matter which indicator you're using, it really messes the indicators and makes them not so that you cannot align indicator readings at all when that happens. Now, believe me, we've been in this business for over 20 years, so we know all of these weaknesses within the system and why EA traders battle so much to duplicate results from one broker to the next. Then each broker is a licensed MT4 user or MT5 user, and they can quite honestly set the MT4 system up the way they want to. And the choices within the MT4 setup are such that you'll also find they impact the actual charts that occur. Now, we are used to looking at charts at the sales value level. So the charts we look at are sales values. But in fact, we should be looking at the sales value and the buy values. Now, the minute you put the buy values on there and compare brokers to brokers, you will get another big shock, which we'll go into in another video. Now, another example of where the MT4 setup plays a big role is in the one where I traded for $5K to $1 million, well over $1 million. And what happened there is that the broker set their particular MT4 platform up in such a way that the price action on the candles facilitated very rapid scalping. And I then went in and wrote a specific robot to take advantage of that scalping action that was apparent in this particular broker. No other broker had that price action. Furthermore, that price action only applied to certain currencies, not all the currencies. They had put that price action into only certain currencies. And I wrote a robot to trade those particular currencies and that particular price action, and that resulted in this fantastic 5,000 growing to well over $1 million. And as you can see, this video has been viewed over 200,000 times. Very interesting situation. We had another interesting one where a few years ago, where one of the brokers made a mistake in the way they were set up one of the currencies that we like trading, and they set it up in such a way that there was no spread charge. So we took advantage of that, and for about 4 months we traded this very, very popular currency for no spread. So brokers can set up their currencies differently as well as their overall trading differently in MT4. Then server times differ. Some have GMT server times. Some have GMT +1, +2, +3, -1, that kind of thing. So you have server times that are different. Now, why is that important? That's important because the Forex robot actually runs off that server time. That's what it runs. It doesn't run off where you're located in the world or anything like that. It runs off the server time of the broker. If one client has a server time of GMT and another one has GMT +3, they are going to get completely different results when they use the robot. We have to align those type of things. But even aligning that still doesn't fix the weekend differences and the candle differences. So it's really quite a jumble to fix those kind of things. Then, as you know, all brokers have different spreads. Some have fixed spreads, which are quite nice, and some have variable spreads. Some have large spreads, other ones have small spreads. Other ones don't have spreads, they have commission, and so on and so on. So that is another reason why results will differ. Some have minimum position sizing. So some robots need very small position sizing. They can't do it because the minimum size for that broker is most probably too high or different, and that's why again they will experience different results. And then other brokers actually put a maximum on the number of open trades that you can run at the same time. Certain EAs like trading a lot, especially if you're trading a portfolio of EAs. You start opening a lot of trades, and the broker says, "Oh no, I don't like more than 30 trades. You know, I'm going to stop you from trading if you exceed 30 trades." So the broker area is a minefield. So one of the tricks is to use a broker review site where you can get as much information about that broker on that particular website, and you can research brokers before you open accounts, demo accounts and live accounts on those particular brokers. So you can gather so much more information. I mean, we often get information, "Oh, please suggest a broker," and we say, "Okay, where are you located?" South America. Now, quite honestly, how can we suggest a broker in South America? We have no experience in that particular area. So that's where these kind of sites come in, because they have, for instance, Forex brokers by country. They've got the top 10 Forex brokers that you could look. They've actually got a scam list of brokers, and they've also got a list of the best brokers. Really, these sites, you should always go and have a look at them, but always do your own due diligence. Get the information from these sites and do your own due diligence. Now, why I like this particular website quite a lot is that it has been very friendly to Expert Forex, and it actually has such a high regard for our Forex robots that it is promoting the robots to their clients at no cost. In other words, I'm not paying them a cent to do this, and they are kindly doing it. So if we go down here, they've got a thing on automated trading, and if we go down here, you'll start seeing there is our 8 trading robot bundle, and they tell you a bit about that, and they even give you the buy button. And we also have the 3 trading robot bundle. Again, you can buy it. They've got a buy button on their website. Trading tools, the currency selector tool, very good tool, and also the performance analyzer. So they have spotted some of our products out there. Their clients have given them feedback, and they have taken it upon themselves to actually list our products. But that's not what this video is all about. This video is about looking at the differences between different brokers, and that's why I'm actually taking you to this website, to give you an idea of where you can find different broker choices. Okay, so about a year ago, I produced this particular video that you see on your screen. It's almost exactly a year ago, and I showed all the differences of the various charts based on weekend closures as well as candle setups. And please, what I've done in this video is I've extracted the important parts of that particular video into this particular one. But I'm not redoing something that I've already done, and the rest of the video will actually go through this particular aspect. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at the fact that all NT4 Forex brokers have different details on all of their charts. Now, the implications of that are very important to Forex traders. What it basically means is that every time they run a Forex robot that relies on indicators, they will not be able to achieve the same results that they should based on the testing or the set files that have been supplied to them. And all of this will become a lot clearer. But essentially, you will be amazed how different the candles are on the various brokers that use the MT4 platform. And let's have a look at that. So yesterday I had a webinar which was recorded about the Make Money EA, and in it I stressed the importance that users of that EA need to trade it for 3 to 4 weeks on a demo account before going live. And a lot of people were quite surprised. They said, why? It's a tested EA, the settings are there, why do I need that? And after you've watched this video, you'll understand exactly what I mean, because every broker will be responding differently to that particular EA. So what I did was I loaded 3 broker accounts into my one computer and ran them concurrently. So I used Charter Prime, Pepperstone, and IG were the 3 brokers. I loaded the pound yen as the main currency, and I loaded the ADX indicator, the one that we use for the Make Money EA. And let's just look at what those charts look like. And you can see I've tried to make them as similar as possible. But just looking at the ADX indicator, you can actually see the format is considerably different from broker to broker. What I've also done is I've done 3 reference lines, and I've taken the readings on those reference lines, and I'll show those differences to you. But you can actually see, if you look at my cursor there, the 2 peaks go down in this one, the 2 peaks are even in this one, and then the 2 peaks go up in this one. So it's completely different. During this one, most of it stays below the 30 line. Here, a considerable amount of it stays above the 30 line, and here we've got a mixture of amounts that stay above and below the 30 line. So the whole format is considerably different. So these are running the same EA, the Make Money EA. So they will be responding differently. You'll get transactions happening on one broker account and that are not happening on another broker account because of these differences. And we're going to look at why these differences are in fact in place. Okay, so I've summarized the differences, and firstly, as you can see, there are different GTM server times for the 3 brokers that I'm looking at. So each one has a different server time. Now, the implications of that is that the cutoff times for the various candles especially the 4-hour candles, would be different. So that's the one difference that came out of this. The other difference, which was quite amazing, which I didn't expect, was there's quite a bit of a difference in the prices. You can see there's up to a whole pip of difference between the prices from the highest price to the lowest price. Quite disappointing. I actually thought they would be a lot closer. Then those 3 reference lines that I drew, you can see the vast differences in the readings. The ADX had a reading of 60 in the one and then 53 in the other. Here we see a 41 and a 30 reading, and here we see a 10 reading and a 20 reading. So the readings are vast. Sometimes the readings are double what the other one is. So it is really quite a concern that the ADX in particular, and it applies to a lot more indicators, but the ADX shows this quite clearly, that how different the indicators appear to be on the different broker accounts. And as I said earlier, the EA will just be responding to these different formats and trading on a totally different basis. Okay, so now just a little bit of information. If you want to find out what time your broker server is, you just go to the Market Watch and you'll see a time on the Market Watch there, and that will tell you what your broker server time is. And then all you do is you Google GMT now, and it'll tell you what the GMT time is, and if it's the same, then obviously the broker is using GMT. If it's slightly different, you can then say it's either GMT +1 or 3 or so on. So a little tip there. Okay, so then I had a look at the actual candle formations, and on your screen you can see the current running format of the candles. You can see they almost unrecognizable. You cannot recognize that in fact is trading the same currency on the same time frame, and the candles are looking totally different. Totally different. You will never say that that's the same currency. So again, the implications of different broker times come in quite strongly. But there's another thing that causes these differences, and we're going to look at that next. So because of the different server times, there are also differences in the times when the brokers cut off on the Friday afternoon when the market closes and opens on the Monday morning when the market starts trading again. Some brokers open different times and close at different times. And the problem is it's not related to the server times. So if you look at this little table that I've got here, you can see that the GMT closed off on the 22nd hour and opened on the 22nd hour, which is good. That's the way it should be. But if that's GMT and this is GMT +3, then there's only a 2-hour difference between those two. So it shows you the broker closing on a Friday and opening on the Monday has got nothing to do with the server time. So that's another variable that causes these extreme candle differences. And again on the screen, I've marked the opening candles and the closing candles for the various brokers, and you can again see that it's almost like looking at different currencies when you look at those particular charts. Now, what this means is that if your EA is using an indicator like the ADX, it is going to be seeing different signals from that particular indicator. And it's going to be doing that for the life of the time that you're trading it. And that is why you could be sitting next to another trader, and that trader can experience 3 trades and your EA will experience no trades, because the indicator could be completely different if you are using different brokers. So the conclusion is it is quite dangerous to share set files that have been created by different brokers, and you need to do that with caution. It's not necessarily dangerous, just don't expect the same results if the set files was prepared on a broker using GMT and your broker's GMT +3, there's a big chance that it'll be different. If your broker's GMT and the set files were prepared on GMT, there's still a chance that there will be a difference because the two brokers might have different cutoffs on the Friday and the start on the Monday. So that could cause different candle formations again. So it's quite a complicated area, and this really affects Forex robot traders more than manual traders that are only trading one broker at a time. They're really not affected at all. It's only the users of set files that are affected by this. Now again, you're not affected by this if you are creating your own set files. If you are doing your own optimization and you're creating your set files on your own broker, then you're not affected because that's the broker you're going to be using to trade, so your set files will be applicable to those. It's only if you sharing using set files that have been prepared on other broker accounts or that are totally different to your broker. But now the good news is some systems aren't affected by this. For instance, the grid trend multiplier doesn't use indicators, so it is unaffected by that because it uses a grid system to trade. The time of day hedged EA is another EA that's not affected by something like this because it doesn't use indicators. So it's only really EAs that use indicators that are affected by this particular situation. So this explains why when you try and duplicate optimize settings, you cannot duplicate the results because your broker could be completely different in terms of the setup that they use to the set file, the broker that we use to create the set files. That's one reason. It's also a reason why when you take the set file and you plug it into your broker that you might not be getting the results that you want to achieve. So the objective of today's video was just to make you aware of these differences, and if you are an EA trader and you do use set files, they bring so many limitations into the use of set files. They explain why you cannot get the same results as, for instance, your supplier's set file or your friend's set file that he gives you. On the other hand, you might be getting better results using that set file. It can go both ways and can get better or worse, but there will be a difference if you are not using the identical broker. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've opened your eyes to the various differences that there are between brokers that you can use in the Forex market. At first sight, they all look the same, but if you delve a little bit deeper, there are incredibly big differences which make it almost impossible for set files to be transferable from one trader to the next. Any references to websites and videos will be in the description of the video. You can find a clickable link there and also in the first comment of the video. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.